Good morning. I'm Erika Polmar, Executive Director of the Independent Restaurant Coalition. Thank you all for joining. This call is on the record. The IRC wasn't born in a boardroom. It came to life around kitchen tables, late night phone calls, and urgent text threads between chefs, bartenders, and small business owners who knew that if we didn't fight for ourselves, no one else would. When the pandemic hit, we built a coalition from the ground up, and together we secured more than $28 billion in federal relief through the Restaurant Revitalization Fund. That program wasn't designed by a think tank, it came from the people who live and breathe this work every single day. Independent restaurants make up nearly 70% of the industry. We employ 1 in 10 Americans. We're job creators, culture carriers, and community hubs. We feed first responders, organize fundraisers, and offer a place to gather when it feels like the world is absolutely falling apart. But when disaster strikes us, when floods sweep through our kitchens, or wildfires destroy our dining rooms, there's often no one there to help us rebuild. FEMA says that 40% of small businesses will never reopen after a natural disaster. Another 25% close within a year, and it's only getting worse. In the last 5 years, we've seen on average $23 billion weather events annually, twice what used to be normal. Texas floods, California wildfires, hurricanes across the Gulf and the Carolinas. The climate is shifting, and our industry is paying the price. And that's why today matters. With support from Chase, we're launching 2 first-of-their-kind programs designed by and for independent restaurants and bars. The first is the IRC and Chase Disaster Relief Fund, $3 million in direct aid to help support small restaurants and bars get back on their feet after a disaster, whether it's replacing equipment or supplies, inventory, covering payroll, or getting the doors open. The disaster relief application opens September 3rd. The second program launches today, the IRC and Chase Innovator Awards. This $1 million fund celebrates restaurants who are leading with purpose, those prioritizing sustainability, investing in their teams. They're reimagining what operations and leadership in this industry look like. This program is a chance to recognize what so many of us already know, that independent restaurants are creative problem solvers and some of the most innovative business owners in the country. These programs didn't come from a bank's product team or a government policy memo. They were imagined by our members and brought to life through our incredible partnership with Chase, and they're grounded in what independent restaurants and bars actually need. I'm delighted to have 2 of those restaurant members with us today. In a few minutes, you'll hear from Bobby Stuckey, restaurateur, master sommelier, and IRC co-founder. Bobby has seen firsthand what happens when restaurants rise to meet a crisis, feeding neighbors, supporting first responders, and what it looks like when no one is there to help them in return. You'll also hear from Cheetie Kumar, Vice President of the IRC Board and chef owner of Aja in Raleigh, North Carolina. Cheetie has built a career around the belief that food is a connector, that independent restaurants are places of culture, care, and community. From navigating hurricanes in the South to advocating for fairer policies on the Hill, Cheetie embodies the kind of leadership and resilience that makes this industry so powerful. They, like so many of our members, are living proof of what independent restaurants make possible and why this work matters. This partnership with Chase is about more than just grants. It's about believing in the people who give our neighborhoods their flavor, who show up no matter what, to feed us, employ us, and hold space for our communities. Chase understands what we've always known. Restaurants are where culture lives, where stories are told, and where a community begins. We hope this is just the beginning and that others will join us in lifting up the people who make this industry so special. Because what we're saying with these programs is very simple. Independent restaurants and bars matter. We see you, we believe you, and we're fighting for you today and every day. You're going to hear from Bobby and Cheetie shortly, but first, I'd like to welcome Chris Stang to the call. Chris, we are so grateful for the support of Chase and delighted to have you joining us today.
Thank you so much, Erica and Cheetie and Bobby. Obviously, really always happy to see you. And thanks to everybody that's joining the call to learn more about this. So yeah, I'm Chris Stang. I'm the head of lifestyle at JP Morgan Chase, which also includes all of our efforts in and around dining. I also co-founded a company called The Infatuation, which was acquired by JP Morgan Chase in 2021, which has led me here today. And yeah, look, obviously it's a real privilege for me and for this company to be able to support independent restaurants. Chase is the number one bank for small businesses in America. Independent restaurants are obviously among the most vital small businesses in this country. They employ millions of people. They power local economies. All the things that Erika just covered. They create culture. They influence culture. They create communities. And they give us all an opportunity to, gather with friends and family and enjoy the good things in life. So really important that we can step up and support. We know from experience that small businesses like this need more than just access to capital. They need support, especially when disaster strikes. And also, more importantly, they need recognition when they lead with purpose and are committed to building great businesses that support their employees and support their communities. So as Erika mentioned, that's why we're just super excited to be partnering with the IRC across the board, but particularly on these two specific programs, the IRC and Chase Disaster Relief Fund and the IRC and Chase Innovator Awards. We're also going to be providing financial education, data, marketing support to IRC members. And I think there's much, much more for us to all be doing together in the future. So again, real privilege to be a part of this and to play a role in supporting such an important industry to all of us.
Thank you so much, Chris. We really are thrilled by this program. And with that, I'll pass it to Cheetie.
Hey everyone, so nice to be here on this very exciting day. I'm Cheetie Kumar of Aja in Raleigh. And I just want to talk a little bit about what it's like to be an independent restaurant operator in this day and age. It is an act of sheer willpower, maybe unbridled optimism, and quite a bit of fear, honestly. I think we've seen climate-related closures and crises happen every few months, every few weeks in this country. And I really feel like we're vulnerable, and we are very aware of how realistic it is to expect a climate disaster in our area. We had one 4 hours west of us in Asheville in September, and have been really watching how devastated that economy has become, and how many anchor restaurants closed in Asheville because of Hurricane Helene. And this is also at a time when it's really difficult to get insurance coverage, and premiums are higher than ever. So not only are we at risk for floods and hurricanes, but we also can't afford to get coverage or even have coverage available to us. And at the same time, we're still not seeing the kind of labor availability as we would really need to operate seamlessly. So retaining a staff is more expensive. Our cost of goods are more expensive than they ever have been. And our razor thin margins just continue to be thinner and thinner. And but at the same time, we persevere and we innovate. We take the lessons of the last 5 years since COVID and really put them into action. At our restaurant, we use every part of every vegetable and fruit and animal. We really minimize food waste. We offer childcare support. We offer healthcare. We try to really bridge the gap between the service team and the kitchen team. All these things that I think a lot of independent operators can relate to. But there are people in communities doing so much more and thinking so forward and really impacting their communities in a positive way, feeding hungry children, for example, or just people are smart and they're doing really smart things. And so it's really exciting for us to be able to announce an innovator award that is a partnership between the IRC and Chase. And what this will do is give 40 individual restaurants $25,000 grants to boost the work that they're doing, and to highlight the work that they're doing in the hopes that they can continue to do so. And also, maybe good ideas will be contagious and spread, and we can learn from each other and really build a more resilient and innovative industry. And this would not be possible without this partnership. And it's a grant program that I know Erika has been working on for a long time, and it's really exciting to see it come to fruition. I think it'll help us not just survive, but have some hopeful innovation, and again, create something that's bigger than just our own restaurants, and connect in a more positive way. So with that, I'm going to take it over to Bobby, and he's going to talk a little bit more about some other exciting things.
Thank you so much, Cheetie. Hi, I'm Bobby Stuckey. I'm the co-founder of the IRC and the owner of the Frosca Hospitality Group in Colorado. In March of 2020, we came together to fight for restaurants in crisis. But that crisis hasn't let up. It's actually continued to evolve and create other crises. And as Erika said, natural disasters are hitting us harder and more often. Fires, floods, tornadoes. For independent restaurants, even 1 week closure can actually equal the end. We have a different platform that we work on. Last year, Xcel Energy had to shut down the grid in Boulder for 3 days. It was enormous effort for those restaurants just to get open 4 days later. You lose all your product, you lose all the prep. It's not just the loss of sales, it's really debilitating. Natural disasters, when they hit, we need relief and we need help quickly. The IRC and Chase Disaster Relief Fund is a game changer. It's fast, accessible funding. It's tailored to the restaurant industry, and it's focused on the smallest, most vulnerable businesses. When FEMA aid is too slow or doesn't fit our needs, this fund will fill in the gap. The fund is about making sure independent restaurants have somewhere to turn because they've always been there for us when we've needed them. And I'm going to turn it back over to Erika.
Thanks so much, everybody. I appreciate your comments and your insight into the industry. It is beyond valuable. And I will say it once again, independent restaurants or bars are some of the most innovative, creative, resilient people that I have ever met and have had the pleasure of working with. And we are delighted that today marks a new chapter that with the support of Chase, we can give back to restaurants as they've given to all of us. With that, I think we'll open the floor to questions. There is a Q&A box for those of us joining today. If you'd like to pop your question in there, we would be happy to answer it. While we're waiting for just another minute or so, I should say that information about all of these programs is available at independentrestaurantcoalition.com, where you will also find links to the applications for the programs. The Disaster Relief Fund does not open until September 3rd, but the Innovator Award is opening today. Doesn't look like we have any questions. We'll give everybody some time back. Again, thank you so much for joining us. We are delighted by these programs and we'll look forward to sharing. Oh, wait, we've got Gil. Allow to talk. There we go.
Thank you. There is no Q&A box. You can click on the chat and it says chat is disabled.
Oh, gosh, I'm so sorry. The Q&A is working for us and it's enabled on the call. I'm glad that you took the initiative to raise your...
Yeah, well, I'm a writer for a newspaper in Denver, and we're big fans of Bobby and Frasca Hospitality Group. So I'm with Westward, Bobby. So our paths will cross sometime soon.
Hi, Gil. How you doing?
Good.
Tell the whole team at Westward I said hi.
I will. Thanks.
Gil, besides letting us know that the Zoom wasn't working, did you have a question for Bobby or anyone else on the call?
Well, I actually did have kind of a question about the disaster relief funds in this market in the Denver, or Colorado area. We have had some wildfires, but we're not that prone to other kinds of disasters. We did have a flood in Boulder a few years ago, and the occasional tornado. But I think that's a great program, not necessarily one that would be called upon real often in this area. And I think it's great when I hear about so many things going on around the country, and like the weather service not being cut back, and alerts not being given. It's just terrible. So I'm glad that the IRC is there to step in and help these businesses. And I know there is a situation in Denver where Colfax, which is a very famous street that goes throughout a lot of Denver, right through Denver, they've had construction going on East Colfax for months now. And a lot of businesses, including restaurants and bars, have had to close down. I interviewed a Thai restaurant owner yesterday on the Strip who said she had to launch a GoFundMe and she may have to shut down because the construction has been so disruptive. So anyway, that's another thing. That's not something that you guys are dealing with, but she is an example of an independent restaurant owner. And it would be a shame if she closed down. And I'm glad that you guys are there to at least keep an eye on the larger context.
Dale, I'm a Denver native and I grew up very close to East Colfax. So all the things you're saying resonate a lot with me. But yeah, and the only thing I would add is, I think that's sort of the world we're in now, is that these disasters are happening in places that aren't all that expected. So obviously, wildfires in Colorado are a thing, but more and more we're seeing things that aren't typical for the area happening. So I think for us just to be ready and, standing by for any disaster is important across the board.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thanks so much, Gil. Anyone else have a question? Just raise your hand and we'll take you off mute. And again, apologies about the Q&A box.
Oh, there it is.
All right. Don't see anyone else. So with that, I'll thank you again for joining us today and give you all some time back. And we will look forward to sharing the stories of restaurants that have been saved or supported by these funds. Take good care.